Sagittarius, this is your July 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading. It's Romy. I appreciate you tuning into the channel to support my work. Please make sure you're subscribed, drop me a like and a comment. It really helps support me. We're going to open up this month with the energy of the Nine of Wands. I know that you're doing way better than what you may feel or perceive at this moment in time. And even those areas that still feel a little painful or scarce or uncomfortable are truly helping you to shape this new foundation of courage. And I think this month, Sagittarius, you're going to stumble on the reason why you felt that you couldn't settle for something. Now, in Cancer season, we're 8th house energy, so you are going to be oscillating between moments of real intensity and then this sense of fluidity and freedom as you really prepare for this kind of mini rebirth. And, you know, in the beginning of the month, as both Mars and Venus are in Leo, there is a sense of you knowing what you want and knowing how you need to go about getting it. But perhaps that Nine of Wands says that there's a weariness, there's a tiredness, maybe even a little bit of exhaustion about perhaps some of the things that you've had to navigate or that you've been up against recently. It is the wounded warrior, and there is a reminder that we have to persevere. So this is definitely a month that is asking you to keep going. This does mean that we have to have the hard conversations at times, and the Ace of Swords really is echoing this as we have to get to the heart of the matter. Now, of course, we are working with this Venus retrograde energy in shadow until the 22nd, where it will station formally retrograde, and the following day Chiron shifts into its backspin in Aries. So there's a real tender, at times emotive and slightly painful experience where we have to really face things within ourselves, but also within those interactions and connections that we have in our life. And perhaps the decision that you have been most afraid to make, Sagittarius, is the very thing that's going to be the catalyst for bringing in the energy of this new chapter. And it's almost like your guides are saying, you know, we don't want you to live in the in-between anymore. You know, this is where we have to start reclaiming your life and start living it powerfully and fearlessly. Now, as we approach the 3rd, we've got this full moon in the sign of Capricorn, and it lights up that 2nd house for you. So it's all about the way you are valuing yourself. Of course, 2nd house is Venusian ruled, so these themes we're working with anyway in the transit are sort of further amplified around that culmination energy and that revelation of the Capricorn lunar light. And so there's something about that moment very early on in July where I think you're really ready to open up to some new experiences, but that means that you have to be incredibly firm and consistent in your boundaries and not allow the distraction and the interference of what has been perhaps getting in the way. And so you take a position and you take a stance, I feel, around that full moon. And not everybody might understand it. Well, they don't have to. You know, this is about what you need to do for you. Knight of Wands is showing 2 figures here, and there's a distance between them, and they are sort of looking in different directions. They're supported in their own way, but I'm not sure that they're supporting one another. Sometimes we have to have a break, because a break can show us how we truly feel. If we really miss and love and appreciate and need that energetic presence in our life, or if we're actually finding a greater degree of peace without it. So don't be afraid to give yourself permission to have that break. It may well be that the universe brings that in for you regardless during this season. And I don't just mean in terms of romantic energies. This could be showing up in all sorts of different ways, needing a break from family, needing a break from friendships or from people that you've been connecting to on a business or career front. It's like the universe is whispering, right? And it starts softly when it's telling us what isn't good for us. And when we ignore or avoid, or we hear it, but we choose to just kind of put it on the back burner, it starts to get louder. Yeah, it starts to almost get to this stage where we leave it long enough, it becomes excruciating to stay in that energy. So be aware of this in July, because we are being tested. There's all these kind of road bumps. The astrological climate is a little more challenging with the squares and oppositions, not in the same way that these eclipse energies kind of derail us, but certainly in a sense of having to slow you down, and feeling the frustration and the nuance, the nuisance, sorry, of some of the things that are happening. But the whole point of this is that you're meant to recognize and see, because if we think about what are these transits, the retrograde energies really help us to do, it's about resolving things. We have to go back around, we have to gain context and help us to make sense of something. And that deeper awareness of the internal change. Now we've got the energy of death, which of course does signify this rebirth that's going on, profound transformational energy all around you, but also the discomfort of something perhaps coming to an end or having to irrevocably change through the course of July, that can leave you feeling a little bit weather beaten, a little bit out of sorts. But what we're inviting here from a spiritual perspective is a deeper awareness of those internal changes. And as you try to find the context and meaning, it brings your inner and your outer worlds together. And what my guide's saying is that you know, there's almost been perhaps something that you've held on to or has been part of your inner world for so long, because perhaps you haven't felt safe to express that truth. It hasn't been the right time. There's been too much vulnerability. There's been healing. There's been necessary reasons why you've had to keep close that vision or whatever it is energetically you've been processing. But now we have to coalesce these two worlds, because what it means is that you're not fully living. You're not fully living, yeah, because there's this almost separation going on between who you are as you express yourself to the outside world and what's going on within you. And that therefore impacts on everything and how you're relating to yourself, to, you know, the key relationships in your life. And that Chiron energy, remember, is going to go there to the most uncomfortable places, you know, to our Achilles heel, because it wants to help you to heal and resolve, to grow and evolve. Now on the 9th, we're going to welcome Pallas Athena, asteroid goddess, shifting into the sign of Virgo. And the next day, Mars comes out of Leo into Virgo. We are going to be creating a new strategy here for mind, body and soul. This is what you need. And once that truth has been released, and perhaps the break or the change or the transformation that's occurring, it heralds this new chapter and something coming to a point of completion for you. I love the universe showing up right in the center of your reading through the month of July, because it also tells me that there's much to celebrate. And as you really come to terms with a new approach that's needed, it's important that we're not waging war, becoming overly critical on ourselves, but rather directing and harnessing all of our experiences, both broken and beautiful, things that worked, things that didn't, and really coming to terms with what needs to change. You remember, what you're not changing, you're choosing. And so, you know, just like in the Art of War, the book, the greatest victory is that which requires no battle. This is not a battle between you or you and anyone else. This is a deep month of acceptance, and it's all coming from heart energy. And we want that mind, body and soul to come into a deeper sense of harmony than ever before. You're holding something precious here, and you're standing on the edge of the galaxy. Your mind is being awakened to so much more through the course of this month. And as we move into Leo energy, the 9th house is lit up for you. So your higher spiritual learning is also being presented in a way that really helps you to see your growth. Now we come full circle when we're in these retrograde energies as well. And so, you know, even though they may bring their challenges, they also can bring about beautiful blessings. So as that Capricorn full moon hits the 2nd house, as we're working through 8th house in the first part of the month, you might have the return of money that's owed to you, or new ideas and inspiration for how to make money, or sources of new income streams coming through, beautiful ideas that might not, you know, be ready quite yet in terms of their timing, but certainly give you a map or a direction or a focus to work towards, that are really going to improve your sense of security, but also help to heal your prosperity and your financial story. Remember, these retrograde energies are not great when you're selling things. Often you can miscalculate the value of something, end up selling yourself short or missing out. But if you're buying anything, you can always get the great deals around this time for sure. And of course, you know, those patterns, those relationships, the people that come back in and around your world are here to also help you realize that I think you have choices of who you want to be, how you want to move forward. And the hard conversations that might have to take place, you know, those uncertain moments that they bring, the vulnerability, the willingness to just be open and transparent with yourself and others can feel messy and chaotic and really wildly destabilizing at times. 7 of Cups, remember Neptune now retrograde, really having sort of stripped away the illusion and the fantasy of something, and now you're left with the very raw, real, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. But that can be deeply refreshing and cathartic, says the Ace of Swords. So this is a month that can feel gritty and intense, but at the same time, as you really recognize and witness what it is and really what it's teaching you, what it's revealing to you, then there's these beautiful breakthrough moments that are going to arrive. And I do feel that you'll feel closer to yourself than you have for some time. And it's going to help you orientate yourself to like just be so ready for the new experiences. And I think that's the thing that I really love seeing emerge for you, because I think you're going to put yourself in places, in situations that you would perhaps never have considered before. Maybe you weren't brave enough, maybe you just didn't feel it was your thing, maybe it was not something that was available to you or an option for you. But July wants to say, look, if we are rebirthing here, if we are rising phoenix energy, and we are perhaps going through the process of having to untangle and untether and become unbound from where or whom we have been connected to, then that opens up a whole new world. That universe is saying there's a whole new world available for you. Now, a notable date this month is going to be the North Node shifting into the sign of Aries on the 17th. It's the same day that the new moon is coming into Cancer. And, you know, here with that North Node, we're looking at our growth, our fulfillment, the highest expression of our destiny. And so the calling and the pull from the universe is powerful. The knock at the door, if you like, you can't ignore it. That's what I'm saying. This is where we feel the whisper has now gone for, you know, an out and out siren. It's like so loud. And so that can feel a bit uncomfortable. But at the same time, that new moon in Cancer is deeply healing, helping you to reflect, turn inwards, parent yourself in a way that you need to, nurture and nourish the parts of you that feel unsure or vulnerable about what now needs to happen or where you need to move, and really just kind of give yourself permission to say, yes, this is what I need to do for me. Remember, everyone has a different season and a cycle that they're in. And, you know, we can't walk in the same shoes, we cannot compare. And whatever is ready to bloom in your life, or indeed what wants new seeds to be sown, you know, is on your time. It's on your blueprint, your soul's blueprint. And you have to listen to that. And that's an inside job through the course of this month. So this new moon, a powerful time to kind of reorientate which direction you want to move in. And even if there's a little bit uncertainty and an overwhelm around some of the choices, I think if you give yourself permission to just take a couple of days and get quiet, it's going to be really clear to you, because you just have to notice where that kind of loud, you know, the whisper has moved into that really loud, like, okay now, like stop ignoring this, stop putting this off, stop, you know, avoiding this. So if you're new to the channel, Sagittarius, we pull the final 3 cards in the extended version of the reading. You'll find the link for that in the comment and description box underneath. We talk for another 25-30 minutes or so, give you deeper insights into July. We'll also look at a personal question for you, as well as a relationship card. And yeah, I really appreciate the support of those of you that feel resonant to do so. I'm going to go ahead and clarify just this main reading and see some of the key messages that we'll be exploring. So we've got 8 of Swords there, Knight of Swords, 4 of Cups. When the sun blazes into Leo on the 22nd, same day that Venus will station retrograde, and that 9th house really opens your horizons as well. So towards the end of the month, you know, the crossing over experience I think you're going to have It is deeply powerful and almost a sense of like, well, now or never. Yeah, now or never. But there's so much healing, heart work to be done in July. Don't run away from it. King and Queen of Swords with the Death energy. Interesting. Okay, World. We've got another Death showing up. And another Knight of Wands coming in. This could well reflect a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, or just somebody that is expressing that kind of an energy, that intensity. Even you yourself feeling those moments of intensity, but also the desire to kind of really move on. And there's a restlessness, I think, in your spirit through the course of July. You have to listen to that. Like I said, you know, it might just be that the one decision you're most afraid of making is the catalyst for change that is just it's divine time right now. Okay, this is Life Soul Vision Oracle, which is my deck. You'll see the box here. And also Moon Musings is my book. So if you enjoy my work, please check out these creative projects. You'll find them over on my website. Link is below. I really appreciate you, and they are here to support you on your soul journey, filled with love and spiritual insights to support you. Okay, Knight of Swords. Rise in love. Lovely. Spirals of love and grief. Queen of Water. We have Spirit Bear, Ancestral Protection. I love that showing up in Cancer season. You know, it's very close to home as we really find context from our roots. You know, you're always drawn, I think, through this season to kind of explore, whether it be soul retrieval, past life, Akashic records, going deeper into your family tree, making sense of relationships to mother and father energies, like all of these really helping to resolve and bring you back home to your heart energy. Which, as we said, if you're exploring this inner and outer worlds and how to bring that together so you can be more truthful in the way that you live, you know, authentically, consciously. It's so important. Okay, Ocean Oracle here. We have the Water Priestess. Oh, I love that for you. Okay. I'm going to look at the Goddess energy as well. So we'll go into the messages of these cards in the extended version, as I mentioned. Lakshmi, abundance, beautiful. You're definitely going to be working with themes strongly around money and prosperity through the course of this month, Sagittarius, especially with that full moon Capricorn and 8th house energy in Cancer season. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope this is helpful. I look forward to seeing you again next time. If you're joining me, I will continue this conversation with you there.